Alright, so the next step in cellular respiration will be oxidative phosphorylation, which has two parts. It's the electron transport chain and chemiosmosis. And so let's start with the electron transport chain. It is basically, the goal of it is to create a proton gradient. So electrons from NADH and FADH, which was produced in glycolysis and the citric acid cycle, will go through a series of molecules, as you can see, and it'll donate its electron and will follow a flow of electrons. In the process, it will release free energy and create a proton gradient. So as you can see, it starts off with complex 1, moves on to complex 2, ubiquinone, complex 3, cytochrome C, complex 4, and then finally it donates its electrons to oxygen, creating water. And I'm gonna show a visual of what that looks like. So right here, so as you can see, these are the molecules that the electron goes through, and it's gonna start off from the least electronegative down to a more electronegative electron carrier, and then that's why it's flowing down the chain. And as you can see, NADH is right here at complex 1, and then FADH donates its electron at complex 2, and finally it releases the 2 electrons, and it's taken by oxygen, forming H2O. So that is the electron transport chain. And then the next part of oxidative phosphorylation is chemiosmosis, or chemiosmosis, however you pronounce it. And it involves something called the ATP synthase, and what it is it is an enzyme that makes ATP from ADP and an organic phosphate. And basically these enzymes are located on the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. And chemiosmosis is a process in which energy is stored in the form of a hydrogen ion gradient across a membrane, and it is used to drive cellular work such as synthesis of ATP. So that's what ATP synthase looks like. It's shaped in the form of a number of gears, and so this would be the intermembrane space, and this would be the mitochondrial matrix right here. And so there's going to be hydrogen ions outside in this intermembrane space, and it's going to go into the ATP synthase and go around this rotor. And when this rotor spins, it causes this rotor on the bottom to spin as well. And then when this rotor spins, it causes, let me see. So when this rotor spins, it turns on catalytic sites that produces ATP from ADP and an inorganic phosphate. So basically what it does, it will move hydrogen ions into the mitochondrial matrix, and then the electron transport chain, actually in the process, it moves some of the hydrogen ions back into the intermembrane space, maintaining a hydrogen ion gradient. And so these two processes can be combined in one picture to be visualized, and it would look something like this. As you can see, this over here is the ATP synthase, which moves the hydrogen ions into the mitochondrial matrix, and in the process ADP is synthesized with an inorganic phosphate, creating ATP. And then as the electron flows through the electron transport chain, hydrogen ions will be moved back onto the intermembrane space, which establishes a hydrogen ion gradient. And so yeah, these two things work together in oxidative phosphorylation, and together it creates ATP. That's the main function of oxidative phosphorylation, to create energy. And that's it.